Nigeria's 2026 economic outlook reflects both progress achieved in 2025 and ongoing challenges. Fiscal reforms, tighter tax administration, and disciplined CBN monetary policies help stabilize inflation, exchange rate, and revenue performance. Yet rising debt service, weak household income, and limited job growth continue to constrain welfare. Capital inflows and market performance improved, driven mainly by portfolio investment, while sectoral productivity and trade surpluses strengthened. Security concerns and global uncertainties remain critical. Today, we explore these trends, the 6 key issues shaping 2026, and the path towards sustainable, inclusive growth. Pedro Omontuemhen, partner at PwC, joins me now. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, Joanna.
Yes, great. And looking back at the 6 key trends identified in the 2026 outlook, which assumptions, or rather 2025, which of those assumptions proved accurate, and where did the actual economic outcomes differ from expectations?
Okay, thanks so very much. Like you know, these are assumptions, though we don't have what I call prophetic insights, but looking at what we have read in the economy and what we think, I think a lot of them prove quite accurate. The inflation rate came down, the naira was stabilized, so that was quite good. But the ones that did not prove, sadly, the one that did prove quite accurate was on the issue of security, both local security and global security. We predicted that the security situation was going to be still challenging, but it was worse than we had thought. Okay, there were more fatalities than we have thought, and if you recall that the president even had to declare a state of emergency, a national emergency, employ more policemen and employ more soldiers. So that was worse than we have thought. And at the global stage, we thought that there was going to be easing of the global tensions. Because the issue with Russia and Ukraine is still existing, the Israel and Hamas, that was worse than we have thought. And of course, in the South China Sea, the challenges still affecting global shipping. So the economy was much better than we have thought, or as we have assumed, but security was worse than we have thought.
And I'm wondering, as we step into 2026, should we expect the worst, right? Looking ahead, what are the most critical issues expected to shape Nigeria's economic performance this year, and how interconnected are these risks as well as opportunities?
Obviously, like you know, this is a global world, so no country is an island. So geopolitical tensions is going to affect Nigeria's economic performance. For example, if you look at crude oil prices, it's not determined solely by the country. The supply demand across the world, the wars or threats of war is going to affect us. So that's going to be an issue. Of course, the world is going green, and people are going to be taking their money to countries and institutions that are following the global trend. So while we are doing all the work, all things can do locally, strengthening our monetary policies, disciplining with our fiscal policies, the global security issue is going to affect us as a country.
And let's look at key indicators. For example, the naira. Last year, it actually appreciated for the first time in 13 years. What are the projections for the naira and perhaps even inflation?
Okay, so if you look at the budget, the government is projecting that it's going to be 1,400 to the dollars. Right now, we've seen that the naira stabilized to 1,436 or 425 thereabout, and we think that that number is going to get better. So as a country, obviously, we want our naira to get stronger and stronger. I think putting the policies that the central bank has put in place and the fiscal policies of the government, we think that naira will get stronger as the year goes by. With the conditions that all the other microeconomic situations are favorable to that, particularly, for example, the oil price.
Our time is fast spent. I'm trying to get as much as possible out. What are the biggest downsides to Nigeria's economic outlook this year? What should we be careful of, and what indicators should, especially, private sector and investors be watching as they navigate 2026?
Okay, the downsides ensure that we get food security, because it's important that's important. So even if you look at 2025, why the inflation dropped, the household still suffer because the price of food was still high. So we have to ensure that the food security is dealt with. We have to ensure that we are disciplined with implementing policies. So, for example, there's tax reform. That tax reform needs to be well implemented, and budgets have to be well implemented. We have a history of overlap of budget. So, capital spend has to be monitored and well implemented. Security, the tax reforms have to be well implemented, and of course, we have to take care of security.
Of course, we'll continue to monitor all these trends and much more, and hopefully invite you back in as developments occur in 2026. But thank you so much for the insight. Pedro Omontuemhen, partner at PwC.